people in the chat, you're not ready for this. you're not ready for this, Papi. Oh my god. Feels, but this is what the patch has done. We've lost him. He's lost his mind. Here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Radhaset Station, we have the South Korean, usually Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming, but here he is rolling Protoss instead. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the blue Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. Now it makes sense. So I was about to go into a bit of a rant about how, based on their previous series, I'm shocked that this made it through. I'm shocked because Wayne and Dark have been very aggressive in ZvZ, and we saw a lot of all-ins out of Wayne last week. So for Radhaset Station, a very defensive, a very turtley map to make it through the veto process is shocking to me. And it didn't make any sense. Now it all makes sense. Now Dark rolls Protoss, and he wants to take full advantage of this map. For those wondering, for those who maybe haven't seen too much of this map, it is the most vetoed map in the map pool. It is a map where you can expand freely here at your natural. Your natural base is very defendable. You do have a ramp coming into it, and you take a third base very easily. You have a pocket third base, a full third base here as the pocket, and this fourth base is also very defensible as well. For Dark to roll Protoss, this screams Sky Toss. Dark, he's fully aware of the advantages of this map. We have seen a lot of Sky Toss here on Radhaset Station as well. On top of that, this natural base is very abusable by siege locations. Tanks can even hit the mineral line from the low ground, barely hit the mineral line from the low ground, and Tempest can have their way one-shotting workers here in this area as well. So the question becomes, Wayne, can you kill Dark before he gets into his final form? Oh boy. Ay. Here we go. For now, hatch gas pool. Wayne is going for his, going for ling speed, gonna be cutting workers, or sorry, pulling out of gas here once he gets 100 as well. Everything is looking normal. Stargate opener, which is what we expect to see. Again, we'll see if Dark goes for something else, but I do feel like you wouldn't pick this map and you wouldn't roll Protoss unless it were to play very turtly and very macro oriented. So we'll see if Dark defies expectations and goes for like some hyper aggression and goes for, like, I don't know, a Twilight Council after this Stargate into Glavedeps or something. But maybe I'm on some copium because third base is going to be taken soon. Oh boy. See the chat catching up. We're catching up, Bobby. We're catching up. Not like this. Not like this. There it is. Void Ray is on the way. No Oracle first, Void Ray. Instead, the Void Ray is going to be shutting down this Overlord. Very suspect, but of course, Dark wants to keep Wayne in the dark. And, which is something I don't get to say too often. And we'll see what kind of direction we go from here. Once the Overlord goes down, do we go for another Void Raid? Do we go for a Fleet Beacon? Do we go for another Stargate? Or do we take a very different direction? For now, Void Ray first into an Oracle. Now this Oracle is pretty standard. You can use it to gain scouting information, to harass a little bit, but this is still not quite a tell. There it is! Second Stargate for double Void Ray production, and we should be seeing a Fleet Beacon momentarily as well. It is Sky Toss. Part of me was hoping that maybe Dark was going to go for a different reaction, a different transition, and try to catch Wayne off guard and do something that isn't obvious, but this is kind of where we expect to go. Oh, actually, no Fleet Beacon. We are going not into double Stargate Void Ray, double Stargate Phoenix. Okay. Dark, he's pulling a bit of a Hero. Hero does this quite often, so, I mean, they are teammates, and I'm sure Hero maybe even gave Dark some tips, or maybe Dark just watched what Hero did to him, which is usually what happens. And here we go. The Oracle gets across the map so far, not really getting too much damage done. The Queens are able to keep up. And the Oracle just relies on scouting information. Meanwhile, behind this, +1 air attack is on the way. We're still banking up Phoenixes. So the way that this works is we're going to be amassing an abundance of Phoenixes. By the time we move out across the map, we hunt down Overlords. We can overwhelm the Queens and take control of these mineral lines as well. More importantly, supply blocking our opponent. Third Stargate gets thrown down. And we do have Wayne responding with the Spire. Now, Wayne hasn't seen anything. He doesn't know what's going on other than the 3 bases. He hasn't seen any additional tech. He hasn't even seen the +1 air attack on the way. But already, he knows that it's going to be Skytoss. So he's getting ready blindly here with his Spire. Now, the problem is that he doesn't know that it's Phoenixes, which means we actually don't really have too many spores in position. There's 1 spore in each base. That is not enough to deter these Phoenixes. Dark is looking to snowball out of control. There is that fleet beacon now on the way, so we're starting with Phoenixes and then we're following up with a more dedicated Skytoss army. And the Phoenixes have now revealed themselves. Overseer goes down. Phoenixes are zooming across the map. Immediately, more spores. That's what I was concerned about. We don't have enough spores to really protect our bases. They are now on the way. But Dark is zooming across the map. He comes across the 4th base. Drones are going down left and right. 4 workers. We're getting a 5th worker as well. Six drones, and that's okay. This is a manageable amount of damage so far, but Dark is keeping Wayne contained. We have Corruptors in production. Behind this, we're going straight into triple Void Ray production. Oh my god. And I'm really concerned for Wayne. I feel like he's 1 step behind. The Corruptors, they can do well. They can do well against these Phoenixes, but do we have an infestation pit? The answer is no. Because we don't have a pit, this mass Void Ray transition is going to work wonders against Corruptors. Without Infestors for Fungals or without Vipers for Parasitic Bombs, Corruptors struggle a lot against mass Void Ray. They need something to support themselves. Corruptors trying to chase down, hunt down these Phoenixes. They're trying to keep up. One Corruptor does fall. And again, Dark, he's just distracting this army, forcing an overreaction. And he's looking to catch his opponent with the mass voids. The voids, they're coming, Papi, they're coming. We don't need no carrier, we don't need no Tempest. Roaches are waddling on in, and they would hopefully scout these Void Rays. For now, they haven't. They haven't seen much of anything. Infestation Pit is on the way, thankfully. But I am still concerned for Wayne as he pushes on forward, and he does come across the Void Rays. You will have to respect them. We'll have to back off. So the Corruptors, they just turn around, they go back home, because they know that they can't do anything against this kind of army. Infestation Pit has finished, and we need that Hive. There it is. Hive immediately on the way. Now, what Wayne can do is he can distract the Void Rays. If he can keep the attention of the Void Rays on these Corruptors, then the Ling Roach can push on forward. But the Void Rays, they rotate around, they keep up with the Roach army, and they can go ham. Oof. Yeah, we activate the Prismatic Alignment, and Wayne has to back off. Cannot engage. Not yet. Not against the Prismatic Alignment. Behind this, carriers are on the way. Dark, he's fully saturated on 4 bases. He's looking to max out. Again, really impressive that Wayne actually decided to go into the late game against Dark's Skytoss. Bold move out of Wayne. We'll see if he can pull it off. Again, he still needs time. Hive is still about to finish up, and then we can get into Vipers, then we can get into our Spellcasters. Oof. So additional Corruptors do go down. Phoenixes across the map, they take control of the mineral line. At this point, the Phoenixes have served their purpose, so we do want to throw them away. So we do activate the cloak, keep the Void Rays safe, and yeah, Darky's defending quite well here. Defending his fourth base well. Vipers now in production. I do feel like these Vipers are late from Wayne, but at least he has preserved his Corruptor count. Looking at the units lost tab, he's only lost 8, which is a lot of Corruptors, but again, it could have been worse. As the Vipers are gathering up energy. Now, as we're getting into Vipers, Dark is also refining his army. We have High Templar on the way, Storm as well. We don't have any Archons yet, but Archons are the big thing that Dark is lacking with this army. And again, he wants to get rid of these Phoenixes. And he's trading well. Oh my god, he gets the entire mineral line. 13 drones go down. And Wayne will force these back, but again, they're just such an annoyance here for Wayne. The Phoenixes survive, they make it back home. The Vipers do join up with the main army, and here we go. We're looking for some abductions. Up! We get an Oracle. We get the Mothership as well, but the Mothership will go down. A carrier. Good pickoff. So things they get on top of the High Templar. Oh, they force out the storms, and I think we still have one storm left. Does go off. Fungals will connect, but the storms are a bit too good. Wayne has to back off. He plummets in supply. Not the best trade from Wayne. It was a very desperate attack, but he took a lot of storms to the face. He lost his ground army, lost a big chunk of those Corruptors. Remember, earlier he had only lost 8 Corruptors. Now he lost another 12, up to 20. He lost a lot of Spellcasters as well. So Wayne, he's got a lot of rebuilding to do. Meanwhile, Dark, he's chilling. He is just chilling back here. Ooh, that is a kill. A kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. Good pickoff. Very necessary pickoff here from Wayne. Ultras are on the way. Zealot run by. Oh, disrupting the economy here of our Zerg player. As the gold is being retaken. And yeah, Darky's just embracing his other side. I appreciate as well that he has recognized that Ultras are in production, so we have Immortals on the way to help support. The Immortals, they will help quite a lot. So the goal, the way that this dynamic works is the Ling Ultra wants to dive on top of the High Templar and shut down those storms. The Immortals are here to protect the High Templar, but the reality is that this ground army from Wayne should be able to close the distance and get on top of the High Templar in time. Depending on the positioning, of course. Like Wayne, he's being covered by all these cannons as well. Zealot run by doing quite a lot of damage, forcing the entire ground army to respond. Here we go. Wayne pushing in. Gets a carrier. Ooh, feedbacks are looking good though. One carrier, and Wayne has to back off. And this is dangerous because 4 bases are easy to take on this map. This 5th is a little bit more exposed, but even then, there are some good choke points to take advantage of. But Dark is getting a 5th up and running. And he can take a 6th, he can look to take another. Like, his economy is still not slowing down. He is building up a bank. As he does push out. Oof, big storm, big feedbacks as well. Wayne, he can't engage, not without his Vipers. He has to back off. Gather all that energy. We do have a Spore Force waiting for Dark. Dark is looking to mow that forest down. Fungals, are they connect with the High Templar? Ultras are trying to close the distance as well. The High Templar are pulled back. Good control out of Dark. He keeps the High Templar alive. All the Ultras go down, and this is snowballing out of control. Feedbacks the Infestors. The base falls. The Spore Force as well. And we don't have another force behind this. We have a couple of spores thrown down. But Wayne, he loses his entire mineral line, and Dark can just keep on pushing. Once again, good feedbacks. No energy left on these Vipers, which means Wayne cannot engage. And Dark is looking to snowball out of control. The Corruptors are coming from behind. Oof. The Storms, though, are looking good. The Void Rays keep up. We do have a good amount of Ultras. At this point, do we have enough Corruptors to punish this? I think we do. It's going to be close. But here we go. The Ultras, they engage. They take down the Archons. The Corruptors from behind, they can take down the Carriers even. No, the Vipers. The Vipers go down, and that may just be it. As, Dark does decide to recall back home. He did end up losing all of his ground army. He lost all of his High Templar and his Archon. So, Dark, he didn't want to die to reinforcements. He recalls back home, and he's going to be rebuilding his army. Wayne is out of a bank. No more minerals. He is struggling to remax. Dark has an amazing economy. Dark, he has more than enough resources to just rebuild what he's been losing. High Templar, Archons, the Mothership if he wants to, and there we go. Mothership is back in. Dark has already remaxed, and Wayne is struggling to do so. We do have a lot of Corruptors. 34 Corruptors. Oh my god. If there aren't enough Archons, if there aren't enough Void Rays, then Dark, he could still win. Wayne could still win a fight. Could still pull this off. The 1DT. Oh, he knows the power of one invisible man. Denies any mining here at this fresh mining base. Nice hold position on the DT as well, keeping it hidden. Dark still remaxing. Wayne has been given enough time to remax himself with more Ultras, more Lings. DT waddles back in once again. He can actually go for the base if he wanted to. Gonna go for the spine crawlers. But yeah, from here, Dark, first he's establishing this bottom right hand base. He's making sure he gets all of his cannons and shield batteries up and running. And once they finish up, Dark can push out once again. I do think that he could do with some more Archons. He's only got 2. He has a lot of High Templar, but again, they are very vulnerable, very fragile units. Great Respire on the way for Wayne. He's sharking around, looking for that Skytoss army. Here we go. He gets eyes on the mothership. Oh, once again, though, another feedback. We have 2 Vipers left. Oh, we get the yoinks. We get 1 carrier and we get the mothership as well. Good pickoffs from Wayne. A good start to the fight. Meanwhile, Dark, he rotates around. He's heading towards the fresh mining bases of Wayne. And he has to respond. Hatchery is going down. The army tries to come in from behind. Once again, good feedbacks. Dark with control of the Zelnaga. He saw it coming ahead of time, and no Vipers are left with energy. No abductions, no power bombs. Wayne has to back off. But he does have a lot of infestors. Fungals are available. And they have their own role to play. Can help lock down the army. Hey, an Archon goes down. We do have Neural. Lings, they close the distance, but High Templar saved. We've only lost 2 High Templar this game. Aye. The others have been, of course, morphed into Archons. DT run by punishes the gold. Speaking of, Dark soon to take his own gold base. A big moment here for Dark. A base that Wayne cannot let get up and running. Not just because it's a gold, but it also is a staging ground to lay siege upon this northern base and to push through the center. It's a good launch pad for the Protoss. Here we go, Wayne. Trying to engage. He's gathered energy on those Vipers. He's looking for those abductions. Oh, he should get one. He'll get 2. It's a carrier. And a prism. Catching Dark off guard. Dark once again just checking to see if the base has been retaken. And we're actually going for a big ultra counterattack instead. We have detection. DTs will be dealt with. We have a wall of cannons, but the ultras, they can work their way through it. You see Dark rotating around. He catches some of the ultras. Thester's turning back around. This gold base once again is under siege. Good Neurals. Good Fungal as well on the High Templar. But likewise, the feedbacks are too good. The ultras are being zoned away by the Immortals. We still have 1 storm available. But the last High Templar, they go down. Wayne, he can take a fight. He took down all the Void Rays. Oof. And he does force the recall. Again, that was a big overextension out of Dark. He lost his ground army. He lost his Void Rays. And he's going for a ground toss transition. Okay, I like it. But we have Broodlords already. There's a lot of supply invested in these Corruptors, which means these Stalkers, they can get some damage done. But we do have links to reinforce. And Dark, yeah, he goes for another warping of even more Stalkers. Wayne is being pulled apart. The ground toss transition. They never see it coming. Hatchery does go down. Good Fungal. We'll lock down some of these Stalkers. But look at the banks. The banks is what I'm concerned about. We blink on forward. We take down an Infestor, a Broodlord as well. And this may be all she wrote, because Wayne doesn't have an economy. The hatchery goes down. The Ultras as well. Even if all these Stalkers get cleaned up, Dark can rebuild. Dark has 4k minerals in the bank. These Corruptors though, there's potential. They can caustic spray down some of these buildings, and they go for the Nexus. They go for the gold. The gold base will fall. But again, Wayne, this is his economy. He has 1 mineral patch here at his 4th. He has 2 patches at his 5th. Oh, he has the pocket base. If you recall correctly, he did save this for later on down the line, so he has a fresh mining base. Okay, Wayne, if he can get this up and running, he can be in this. He does need the gases though. Does need those gases, as he has 0 gas income at the moment. 0 gas mining. Ay. Here we go. Looking at the units tab, we have 2 Broodlords. Oof. That's not going to be enough. It looks like Dark has too much. He pushes on 40, takes down the Infestors. And GG gets called. Dark takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, really well controlled out of Dark. And on Ratchet Station, again, this map does favor Skytoss. It favors mech. This is a really good way to take advantage of your off race. I wouldn't be surprised if like Raynor starts playing Protoss on this map as well. The reason why I say that is that because of the defensive features of Ratchet Station, you skip a lot of the hard part of PvZ, right? It's like you're able to freely take a 3rd and take a 4th, so you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to harass and, you know, get economic damage done with Adepts or with Oracles and fight for your 3rd base, fight for your 4th base. Like, the hard part is just stripped away, and you can just focus on late game army control. That's a skill set that is something that comes a little bit more naturally, especially if you're controlling a late game army anyway with a different composition, with a different race. So Dark, all he had to focus on was late game army control, and he did do so incredibly well. Really good control with his High Templar, really good positioning, like credit where credit is due, right? Like sure, Dark, he used Skytoss. Like sure, Dark, he used Skytoss, but he made great use of his spellcasters. Again, really good map control, really good harassment with the DTs, with the Zealots. And the reality is that Dark, he never had to worry about counterattacks. Remember, he had cannons and shield batteries back at home. He never had to worry about run-bys, Ling run-bys, Ultra run-bys, Bailing run-bys, like none of that. He could just focus on the army, and yeah, Dark just got out of control. With that, we're getting into game number 2. And Dark is sticking to the Protoss. I'm catching up in the chat. And I want to put emphasis that was very map dependent. Very map dependent. But this is a very different map. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean, usually Zerg player, but here he is representing the Protoss race. Representing CranKy Gaming as well. It is Dark. Leading the series 1-0, and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. Here we go. Oh my god. And this is going to be a very different dynamic. So Oceanborn is not as defensive as Ratchet Station, and Wayne is going to be kicking things off with a proxy hatch. Let's go, Poppy, let's go. This is going to be the real test for Dark. You know, winning a game as Protoss on Ratchet Station, easy. Easier than other maps, of course. But now Wayne, he puts the pressure on. He's going for a hatch first into a proxy hatch across the map. He is looking to disrupt the early game economy of Dark. And Dark is forced to throw down a wall. Second gateway, cybercore as well. Now, this isn't an all-in. This isn't really hyper-aggressive. This is just a way to delay the expansion and delay the economy of Dark. Behind this, again, Dark, sorry, Wayne just working on his spawning pool, working on his transition. And we can talk about Oceanborn a little bit. So there are certain features of Oceanborn where it is very defensible. Yes, not as defensible as Razat Station, but you can establish your 3 bases relatively easily. This 4th base as well can be very defensible just because of the choke point. You can wall off with cannons, with gateways as well. But past this, we've spoken about this at length, the 5th base is very difficult to actually defend. So I don't think that Skytoss is going to be the way here for Dark. I'm curious as to how he approaches Oceanborn. Very curious. As this hatchery does finish, is going to go down, but again, we're just trying to buy as much time as we can. And there it is. We have a Twilight Council. Wait, was that just scouted? Wayne, he did get eyes on the Twilight Council. He's aware of what's going on. He sees, he knows. And it is going to be Glavid Eps, and it makes sense. So one of the things that Zergs can struggle with a lot, 1 is Skytoss, 2 is Glavid Eps, so it makes sense for Dark to go for this. We have 2 gateways here at the natural base. We should be seeing 2 more gateways from down as well. This is going to be a really weird execution of Glavid Eps. First, we have our initial, units getting across the map to harass. Nothing too crazy here. We're just trying to split apart the attention of Wayne. Natural base is being taken, but because this natural is so late, we actually don't really have the economy to sustain 4 gateways yet. So this is going to be a really awkward execution of this build just because of how little economy Dark has. So I still want to give the advantage to Wayne, to be honest. Wayne, he's saturating his bases. He has links for map control. He's confirming the lack of 3rd base. Remember, Wayne, he also saw the Twilight Council. He's aware of what's going on. And Dark doubles down. Of course he does. It's going to be Glavid Eps alongside Dark Templar. It's in the chat. Time Traveler steps on bug. Dark is the #1 Protoss. The Cabal is now called the High Council. Let's go. As Adepts are going to be shading across the map. Not too many, only 6 Adepts. Remember, there's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism, there's no way to reinforce. Robo just now starts. So again, this is going to be a more manageable amount of Glavid Eps. We have Lings to defend. We don't have a Roach Worm. We're going to be relying on Banelings instead. A risky move here from Wayne to defend with Ling Bane instead of Ling Roach. We do force a recall. And Wayne only loses 2 workers. Only 2 workers go down. We have a Spore in position. Another Spore is on the way. Now, Wayne's economy is still a little bit lackluster. We could do with some more drones. But the downside here is that Dark's tech is really far behind. He's investing a lot of tech in harassing, but if he doesn't make the DTs and Glavid Eps pay for themselves, then he is just going to be behind because he still doesn't have Blink or Charge. As we get into the mid-game, his army just doesn't scale well. Yeah, the Dark Templar have been revealed. Wayne is aware of them. He's keeping his eye out for them as well. Lings are in position. And Wayne is happily droning from here. Dark attempting to establish a 3rd base. War Prism is on the way. And we'll see if Dark can still find damage here with these DTs. He's going to try to bypass those spores. Get some damage done. At the same time, Lings, they do almost get us around. Not quite. Don't want to tango with those Glaive Adepts. Dark Templar, they do make their way into the main base. But again, Wayne, he's keeping up at every turn. He's able to shut down that Prism. And Wayne now works on his fourth. And Wayne's composition is going to be Ling, Bane, Roach. Pretty solid composition overall, and we're getting into a much more standard mid game as well with Blink Stalkers, and oh, we are going straight for that warp. Straight for that Robotics Bay. Okay, so this tells us a couple of things. One, Dark is taking up. He's taking up quite heavily into Colossus. He wants to build up a death ball of an army. Makes sense. Wayne, though, can he recognize what's going on? We've spoken about this before, but the way that Dark reacts, if Dark ever catches wind that you're taking up like this, then he will throw down an Infestation Pit and work towards Hive Tech, like as soon as he can. Wayne, though, I don't think that he's that kind of player. He's a player that thrives in the mid game. That thrives on this Ling, Bane, Roach army composition. As we do have a Gateway Explosion. Disruptor is on the way. Not Colossus. We only have one Robo producing. Bear that in mind as well. Not double Robo. And yeah, now we have that second Robo on the way. Still no fourth base either. I do feel like Dark, he's struggling here coming into the mid game. Like, his army is getting there, don't get me wrong, but Wayne is getting out of control. He's now on 4 bases. He's droning up. He's amassing an army. He's getting ready to lay siege upon this third. A third that isn't really ready to be attacked. And this is what I mentioned earlier, right? I was talking about Radisson Station and how, again, it is very easy to take advantage of the map and to rush into Skytoss. On a map like Oceanborn, less so. You know, you do have to contend with the early to mid game of the Zerg. Dark is contained to 3 bases. And Wayne is about to max out. And I mentioned before that the opener of Dark has been lackluster. The Glaive Adepts and the Dark Templar, they did not do enough. As a result, Wayne is getting out of control. We do have some harassment being set up. Do have some Adepts going into the natural. But Wayne is focusing on his push. Here we go. Can he push into 2 Disruptors? Up! First Nova goes off. Big connection. Massive connections on the Roach Ravager. But there's just so much of it. And Wayne is busting on through. At the same time, Adepts are wreaking havoc. They get 12 worker kills. But the entire army of Dark should be going down. Another Nova goes off. But the third base has been broken. And Wayne is going to be looking to force the ace match. As he takes down the third, GG gets called, and Wayne ties up the series, taking game number 2. GG. GG, well played. And the question becomes, does Dark switch back to Zerg? I feel like it is very dependent on the map. Very dependent on the map. So we'll see. We'll see if Dark does switch gears. Again, GG, well played. When it comes to the game itself, we were talking about it as the game was progressing. But again, the openers of Dark were lackluster. The Glaive Adepts didn't do much damage at all. The DTs didn't do any damage whatsoever. And Wayne was able to get into the mid game in a very commanding position, able to take advantage of the fact that Dark was falling behind tech-wise. And just like that, we are tied up 1-1. We're going to game number 3. And Dark, it looks like he is going Protoss again. Okay, papi. Oh. Here we go. The final game to end it all. We're loading in to Alcyone. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting one. So I do think that this map is easier to establish a fourth base than Oceanborn. The rush distance by ground on Oceanborn is really short, and that can lead to very aggressive styles. Here on Alcyone, it is a little bit longer. So we'll see. We'll see if Dark can turtle up on this map and go into Sky Toss. So we get into it, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have... Oh, let's go! We have the South Korean Zerg player, but now he's rolling Protoss representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, going for a 12 pool, we have the blue Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. Here we go. The 12 pool is on the way. And the question becomes, Dark, how good is your 12 pool defense? Now again, it's not like Dark is new to Protoss. We've casted Dark's Protoss before. It's on our YouTube channel. Quite a number of times, actually. Ooh, we are committed though. We're sending a drone across the map. Proxy hatch alongside the 12 pool. The way this works is the hatchery is designed to block the wall, so that the 12 pool gets even more damage done with better surface area, as we're just waiting for our resources to kick in and go for the hatch. Oh, actually, we don't go for it on the wall. We just go straight for it here at the low ground. Delaying the expansion. Once again, Dark going for the same response. He's going for a 2-gate opener. 2 gateways into the cyber core. Lings are on the way. The probe across the map does confirm the lack of hatchery. Dark knows that this is much more committed than last time. Here we go. Wayne pushing on forward. He does have some decent service area available. It looks like he will get the probe, and he gets us around on the Zealots, and this could just be it. The Zealots will go down. There are 2 pylons, but the pylons are under threat, and will this Zealot come out before the pylons go down? The boys, they have to be pulled. The first pylon falls. There's 1 left. It looks like with these workers, we will be able to hold on to it. We will save it. Behind this, Wayne is expanding. Another pylon gets thrown down. The Zealot is a part of the wall, but the hatchery finishes. Again, Dark is just having a really uncomfortable time. We have Queens on the way, more Lings as well. And just like that, Dark is stuck on a 1-base economy. From here, Wayne can expand, drone up, take a gas geyser, and move on from here. So Wayne is just going to be macroing from this point. Dark has quite a lot to recover from. So Dark, he's going to have access to 4 depths. So once he cleans up this hatchery, he can be active on the map, but by the time he is active, I'm concerned that Wayne is going to have Ling speed, and he's going to be ready for this. Here we go. Dark, he recognizes that there's a lot of pressure on him. Like, sure, he has to kill this base, and the Zealot will do its best, but the Adepts, they have to get across the map. He has to do some counter damage. He can't let Wayne get away with this. As the Adepts do get across the map. And 3 Adepts, they pose quite a threat. They will threaten the Shade into the main. They commit to the Shade. So they head into the main base. Ooh, even an overreaction out of Wayne for a moment. As the Adepts cancel the Shade, they will get a couple of drones. 2 drones in the main. Good positioning from Dark as well. But the Lings will get us around. They get 1 Adept, they get a 2nd. And only 1 makes it out. So good defense here out of Wayne, minimizes his losses. He only loses 2 drones here to 3 adepts. Oh. As the adept barely makes it back into the main base, but will get shut down. And Dark still cannot expand. The creep here is taking quite some time to recede. Dark is still stuck on one base. He's going for the Stargate. Very late tech here from Dark. Has been scouted by Wayne. Is fully aware of what's going on. So Wayne, he knows he just has to make sure he has spores and queens in position as he's droning up from here. And you could look at this and you could say that this is pretty comparable to each other. In a way, yes. But honestly, just Dark is far behind when it comes to the timing of his expansion, his tech. Wayne may be on 2 bases, but I would still give him the edge as he throws down a very early Roach Warren. I mean, relatively early. It's 5 minutes. We should be seeing a Roach Warren by now, but... yeah, interesting. Okay, he cancels the Roach Warren and goes for an Evo Chamber instead. Adepts have been spotted. They're making their way across the map. These are vanilla adepts. We have 7 of them. And this is a pretty imposing force. It's a shade into the natural. Oracle goes towards the main as well. There's only 1 queen, so Dark could try to take advantage of that, but no, he will back off. Void Rays on the way behind this to hunt down these overlords. And again, like, just the tech is so delayed here when it comes to the Twilight Council, even a second Stargate. Wayne has a lot of freedom to just drone up, saturate his bases. The Oracles, they go for the Queen. They will get it. Nice pickoff. They get the Spore Crawler as well. Dark just trying to get as much value as he can out of these Oracles. 3rd base is being taken. We're going for a 3rd Oracle. And Wayne is going for +1, and of course the Baneling Nest as well. Everything looking as it should. No Roach Warren. It is interesting that Wayne's just going Ling Bane. This could go Ling Bane Hydra. Could be head towards Hydras here to help round out this army composition for Wayne. It would make sense. The other direction we can go in is maybe a Spire. We haven't taken additional gases yet, but we should be taking them momentarily. As the Oracles are still sharking around. They do catch another Queen. And good pickoffs. Very few workers, but they get 2 Queens and 2 drones as well. There's a Twilight Council on the way, +1, and Blink on the horizon here for Dark as he takes his 3rd. Meanwhile, Wayne is already working on his 4th base. Lair finally on the way. That's what we were waiting for, to see the tech of choice. Been waiting for a while. But again, it just has been a very wonky start to the game. The openers were chaotic. Void Ray is being forced back. The Void Ray does distract the Queens. With that, 2 more drones go down. Oof, and a lot of workers are falling. 5 drones. Ay, ay, ay. At the same time, though, Wayne goes for a massive counter attack. He doesn't even need the Banelings. The Lings go ham. They take down the mineral line. Oh, but the Adepts get across the map. Both players are hurting. Workers are going down left and right. The Banelings were needed back at home. They're rolling on in, but the Adepts will shade away. Oh, as Dark doesn't just lose his mineral line, he loses the... Or he doesn't just lose the mineral line, he loses the base as well. The Nexus goes down. This Void Ray is going ham. It's doing what it can, but it shouldn't kill the Hatchery. We have plenty of energy for Transfuse. The Hatchery will survive. And Wayne is working on the Hydras. It's just, yeah, it's been an uphill battle for a while here for Dark already, and I don't see him being able to be active against this army of his opponent. The Hydra then finishing up. Yeah, Dark is just going to be stuck at home. I don't see him having much map control at all here. He's stuck at home, saturating his third. Meanwhile, Wayne is going to be able to have the opportunity to just get maxed out. He's working on the fourth, getting it saturated. +2 is on the way. The Hydra upgrades. You could argue that Wayne can get further ahead. I would love to see, you know, we mine through these minerals, we throw down a fifth, we throw down an infestation pit, throw down the Lunker Den. Like, there's nothing really threatening Wayne. As Dark is moving out, and he has to move out. He has to do something. Oh, as Wayne is taking a fifth, and it's not here on the right-hand side like I'd assumed. It's the gold base. Oof, and that just puts so much more pressure on Dark to fight back, to make this work. Now, Darky has been amassing oracles, which is nice. The oracles are very maneuverable. Even though in a head-to-head fight, I do think Wayne will kill this army. Dark doesn't have to... He can avoid the army. You know, he can just go for this harassment instead with all these oracles. Go for mineral lines. Go for fringe bases. Here we go. The Hydras are coming in from the right-hand side. They do zone away the Void Ray. The oracles come in. Oh, but this is going to be a rough fight for the oracles. So many of them go down. The oracles, they're fragile, Poppy. Every single oracle. And now Wayne can focus on this push. He doesn't quite get the Void Ray, but I don't think he cares. As he's going for the main army. The Lings, they collapse on these Stalkers. The Bailings roll on in. Headed for that mineral line. Overcharge putting in a lot of work, but the Bailings, they go off, and once again Wayne is breaking this Nexus. He breaks the third. GG gets called, and Wayne, oh, as I just realized I didn't have the score on the screen, Wayne will take the series. He takes game 3. Moving on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. It's a bad habit that I have, but if we ever see a 12 pool, I forget about the scores. I forget about sending the scores. But GG, well played. That was a tied up 1-1 series, and Wayne takes the ace match, advancing on over Dark. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. And yeah, I was surprised that Dark stuck to Protoss after Ratters at Station. Fun fact, you can race pick. You can race pick here in this tournament. You can go back and forth. You don't have to commit to a singular race for the entire series. And again, Ratters at Station made the most sense. We spoke about it before, but again, it is the easiest map to just turtle up and max out and get your Skytoss going. On these other maps, though, that's where Wayne can have more freedom to be aggressive, to be assertive, to punish the economy here of Dark and to keep him on the back foot, and that's exactly what Wayne did. Very well done to just, yeah, be in the driver's seat. After game 1, Wayne, he was straight up in the driver's seat. He was dictating the pace of the game, and he was giving Dark a very hard time when it comes to saturating his third, getting a fourth base, getting into a stable mid-game. Dark just couldn't pull it off, not against Wayne. GG. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations to Wayne for taking down Dark 2 weeks in a row. Last week, Wayne took down Dark in a ZvZ, and this time he did it in a ZVP. Congratulations. And Wayne will advance on into the next round, where he has his next opponents ready and waiting. It is going to be Wayne versus Hero. Oh boy. And it's a little bit bittersweet. Again, I appreciate that Dark put on a show and that he whipped out his off race, but it's a little bit of a shame because this means that we won't have Dark versus Hero in the semis. We're so used to casting Dark versus Hero, and it's so much fun. It's so chaotic and it's so back and forth. But alas, it is going to be Wayne versus Hero instead.